Can you believe the history of one of the most bizarre and unique holiday specials ever? The Star Wars Holiday Special was truly a fever dream to any fan who has viewed it. The best way to describe it is it was something that came straight out of the 1970s, a time period where companies would utilize their IPs to leverage their brands further. Since the 1978 showing on CBS, the Star Wars Holiday Special has been essentially missing. It is rarely seen and has not been placed on Disney+, even though there are other Star Wars made-for-TV shows and movies on the streaming platform. Though the Holiday Special has essentially been forced to disappear and blacklisted, the legacy of the special has lived on forever. To this day, people still talk about it, they still discuss Life Day, and they celebrate it at Walt Disney World and Disneyland in unique marketing and merchandising. Even in Galaxy's Edge, each year, fans gather to celebrate Life Day. In this video, we're going to go through the origin of the Star Wars Holiday Special and how it has impacted society today. Join us on this bizarre Star Wars journey. The Star Wars Holiday Special would be released on November 17, 1978. George Lucas was riding high off his incredible success of Star Wars Episode IV: A New Hope. A sequel to this film was already in the works to come out in 1980. The Star Wars franchise wanted an opportunity to build upon their brand and add a new, different dimension. They believed this would be a great opportunity for a TV special, which would open the door for more marketing and merchandising opportunities, specifically with the new film The Empire Strikes Back, due to the release in 1980. The main driving force for a TV special was to bring Star Wars to a national audience for those who had not seen the first film, and to introduce a new line of merchandise for Kenner, a TV special all focused on expanding the Star Wars brand further. Charles Lippincott, who was the head of marketing for Star Wars at the time, stated that CBS had brought the concept of a holiday special to George Lucas. Everyone at Lucasfilm seemed to be in agreement of an idea of bringing a special to TV, believing that it would help keep the Star Wars brand relevant prior to the next movie. The Holiday Special was the first ever Star Wars spin-off film. It was supposed to be set between A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back. Prior to being approached by CBS for the creation of a special, George Lucas had always planned for potential sequels and expansions of the Star Wars universe. Specifically, he had the concept, in his own words, a film just about Wookiees and nothing else. Lucasfilms would end up agreeing upon having a show built out by CBS. The two parties decided it would be a variety type show focused on what Lucas wanted, Wookiees. Originally, the plan was to follow the guidelines of George Lucas and have the special only focus on Wookiees. The main issue, however, was that George Lucas and his team would have essentially little to no involvement in the special. At this time, Lucasfilm was moving to a new location, and most of their filming resources were being utilized on the Star Wars trilogy, specifically building out that movie for The Empire Strikes Back. According to Lucasfilm producer Gary Kurtz, they did meet several times with CBS at the beginning to build out the special around Chewbacca and his family. However, due to the previously mentioned constraints by George Lucas and his team, they essentially left everything in the hands of CBS. Lucasfilm was only utilized for things like props, actors, and other essential resources to build out the TV special focused on Star Wars. Though CBS was essentially left to their own accord for the development of the TV special, they would still run into disagreements with George Lucas and his team. The main issue that CBS would be faced with was the concept that George wanted built out. Lucas had provided CBS with a narrative and an outline to utilize, the idea of a story that was focused around Chewbacca and his family. However, CBS took major issue with this concept. Their concern was building a story around characters that could not speak, and Lucasfilm did not want any sort of subtitles to be utilized. Hence, CBS had major issues and did not know how they could build out a story around these types of characters. CBS had the plan to go with a variety type of TV special directed by David Accumba. Accumba was handpicked by George Lucas after the two went to USC Film School together. He had a good background for directing TV specials. However, he would run into issues with CBS and the production team, as he did not have the experience with a multiple camera setup, and this would cause issues. He would also face pushback on decisions and have artistic differences throughout the production, leading to him only producing a few scenes prior to his exit from the special. After the exit of David Accumba, the TV special would eventually be directed by Steve Binder. Binder, who had much success directing made-for-TV specials. Specifically, he was famous for directing the Elvis Presley 1968 comeback special. For the Star Wars Holiday Special, Binder was tasked with building out a 2-hour primetime special for CBS. His focus was blending TV concepts with the Star Wars universe, leveraging the incredible characters from Star Wars for traditional television. However, Binder would have little contact with Lucasfilm. He has been on record stating that the only contact he had with the group was with a Wookiee Bible that he was provided, which, as you can imagine, was just information about Wookiees and how they should behave. Binder was essentially thrown into the production of this television special. According to him, he received a call from a longtime friend and collaborator Gary Smith, who informed him that they had to shut down all production of the Star Wars Holiday Special, that everything was on hold and the budget was quickly vanishing. This all related back to the previous director and the other artistic differences that production had with Star Wars. Smith was essentially asking his friend Binder if he had the ability to determine if anything could be salvaged from the holiday special that they produced thus far. Binder was once again reminded from Smith and other individuals with the CBS production team that the overall goal of this TV special was to help propel a merchandise line for Kenner and bring Star Wars to a national audience once again. Binder, who took on the majority of the work for the holiday special, was dealing with a predicament where the vision of the special was already in place. With increasing costs and the connection of the Star Wars cast like Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and Mark Hamill, Binder had no time to create his own vision for the special. Instead, he had to follow what was outlined and try to save the production and complete the project on time. One prime example of challenges faced by Binder came when he went to shoot his finale with the whole cast, showcasing Life Day. He did not have a set planned or built, nor did he have the production budget left for a big finale. The end result was his production team running out and buying candles for the finale. This showcases once again the situation that Binder was placed in. At the end of the day, Binder did what was requested of him. He produced a variety show for CBS that showcased the Star Wars brand to a national audience, highlighting the characters for a new line of Kenner toys. From articles and interviews from Binder, his main takeaway is that he wished Lucasfilm and CBS did a better job of explaining the special prior to its release. People from all around the United States tuned in to CBS and expected a Star Wars movie quality like that what Lucas had produced the year prior. However, that's not what they got. Instead, fans were treated to a variety show with jokes, cartoons, and all focused on the Wookiees. It is apparent that the Star Wars Holiday Special was set up for a failure from the very beginning. Lack of participation from George Lucas and Lucasfilm and the rush job to complete it all caused issues. Many have even gone on record stating from the beginning that the project should have been canceled once they lost their creative direction. Binder, who saved this project, to this day still has not spoken to or met George Lucas. Many even report George Lucas is still extremely upset about the special and still wants every copy in existence to be destroyed. One of the stars of the special, Carrie Fisher, stated several times that she would put the holiday special on when she wanted people to leave her house. For decades, the film has lived in infamy, as nobody has seen a digital updated copy of it. If you have seen it, either you saw it when it originally came out or you've seen a very low, bootlegged quality like that which can be seen on YouTube today. Star Wars fans have hoped that the mythical special would come to Disney Plus once the streaming service was created. Over the years, many of the TV specials have been added to the streaming service. However, the holiday special has still not to this day. Millions of fans want to see this train wreck disaster of a special for themselves. Some of the reviews of the special showcase how bad it truly was. The AP called it bubblegum for the brain. AV Club is quoted with saying, "I'm not convinced this special wasn't ultimately written and directed by a sentient bag of cocaine." For those who haven't seen it, that can truly give you an idea of what the TV special was like. Now that we've covered the background and what happened with the history of this special, now you may be asking yourself, what exactly was the holiday special all about? Well, as stated previously, it was in a variety style of show, similar to that of the many variety shows of the 70s and 80s. In these variety shows, the main story or concept would be linked together by various smaller shows throughout. In the case of the special, it involved the Wookiees as they prepare for Life Day on their home planet of Kashyyyk. The idea behind it is that Chewie is trying to make it home with Han Solo for the holidays, but they face an Imperial blockade. The main story is brought together with songs, comedy routines, and a cartoon. Besides the original cast like Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, and Harrison Ford, there were also special guest stars like Jefferson Starship and B. Arthur. For the comedy aspect of the variety show, there would be several parody-style jokes poking fun at things like Julia Child or the Honeymooners. Now you may say to yourself, was there anything good from this holiday special? There was actually one standout aspect of this show. That would be the cartoon segment. This is still considered to be the best aspect of the holiday special and would propel a demand for Star Wars cartoons for decades. The Story of the Faithful Wookiee, as it was officially known, was the first ever Star Wars cartoon. The cartoon was written by Lucas and Lucasfilms and produced by Nelvana. Nelvana at the time was a Toronto animation company. Their cartoon was truly special and unique. It would famously introduce the character of Boba Fett. The character of Boba Fett would be part of the Kenner line of toys and help expand the Star Wars universe further. Unlike the rest of the holiday special, the cartoon is actually easily found today. This cartoon would help expand the Star Wars universe, creating shows like Droids and Ewoks, and it would be the reason for many of the cartoons beloved by Star Wars fans today. Looking at the whole picture, it is apparent why the cartoon is still available, as the rest of the special was a true disappointment. From a fan's perspective, two main issues seem apparent. The first is that neither director had any relation with Lucasfilms or George Lucas himself. It seems like the entire project was overly rushed to continue to keep the Star Wars brand relevant for another year before the release of the new film. It can also be understood that CBS did not prepare production for a true Star Wars TV sequel, as it did not have that true Lucasfilm Star Wars element to it. Since this moment in time, Star Wars has been overly protected of its brand. Everything with the Lucasfilm logo on it is always of the highest quality. Overall, the challenges of the holiday special seem to be that of CBS and Lucasfilms. It is a reflection of them, not the director, actors, or production team. There needed to be more input and guidelines from George Lucas himself and Lucasfilm for this to have been successful. Thank you so much for watching. Have you seen the Star Wars Holiday Special? Let us know in the comments below. Please also like and subscribe. We appreciate all of you. Thanks for watching. Believable Truths!